In a flashback, the narrative takes viewers back a century ago, when meta powers started manifesting for the first time. With the birth of the first registered human to have supernatural abilities, who was dubbed by the media as Glowing Baby, people with quirks, aka meta powers, emerged across the world. The meta powers emerged in humanity as a natural progression of evolution. An unnamed homeless woman with a bone protrusion quirk gives birth to two boys, Zen, who will later be known as the fiercest enemy of humankind, All for One, and Yoichi. Zen was born with the quirk of taking powers and abilities from others. Even while remaining in the womb of their mother, an unborn Zen took more nutrients to sustain himself, which left his young brother emaciated, frail, and weak. Their mother dies during childbirth, and the imagery of an infant Zen suckling on her blood is enough to give you an estimate of All for One's all-consuming tendencies. From a young age, Zen, who had to survive amidst the tumultuous conflict between non-powered humans and metas, grew up to be evil, killing anyone who even looked at him in the wrong way. His violence was not limited to non-powered humans, as he stole powers from other quirk users and killed them remorselessly as well. A first-rate megalomaniac with a god complex, Zen considered everything either to be revolving around him or beneath him. Zen's quirkless, younger twin brother, Yoichi, turns out to be the polar opposite of him, a kind, caring person who tried his best to stop Zen from going down the path of death and destruction, to no avail. Yoichi felt Zen's wrath from an early age, who didn't like the fact that his only family, his brother, opposed his worldview. However, despite having deep disdain for Yoichi, Zen kept him by his side, considering him as his possession. Zen believed Yoichi was the first thing that belonged to him, and more than brotherly love, a sense of ownership prompted him to keep Yoichi by his side. Yoichi was greatly fascinated by superhero comics, as revealed in his own words. He could sense the hope that radiated in the writing of the authors as they delineated the heroic, noble actions of their characters. As a rare instance of listening to his brother, Zen decided to read the comics Yoichi loved as well, but he related more with Demon Lord, the prime villain of the comics, who ruled over everyone else through fear. Zen killed the first registered meta, Glowing Baby, among a bunch of other metas and humans, much to Yoichi's horror. As they grow up, Yoichi refuses to be associated with his brother any longer, given that he will not give up on his reign of terror. By now, a charismatic Zen has taken the name Demon Lord All for One, and he wants Yoichi to stay by his side as he rules over everyone. Zen believes that Yoichi's powerlessness has made him harbor useless, noble sentiments and emotions, and he forces the quirk of power stock on his younger brother. Unbeknownst to Zen, Yoichi had a latent quirk, although it was not as flashy as his brother's meta powers. Yoichi's quirk was power transfer, the exact opposite of Zen's original quirk, and combined with a stockpile quirk, it gave birth to the All for One quirk. Yoichi is rescued by Kudo, who is the chief of the resistance force against All for One's tyrannical reign, and tries to escape with him. All for One, who wanted to subjugate his brother throughout his life, is bewildered to see that Yoichi is abandoning him. All for One remorselessly kills Yoichi before he could escape, but a part of him lives on in the form of One for All, which gets transferred to Kudo. Yoichi, who regretted his brother's degradation till the end, considered One for All as the kindest power of all, which allowed users to share their power with those in need. All for One figured out that a part of his brother was still alive as a vestige in the One for All quirk and made it his life's goal to obtain it. To do that, All for One wiped out Kudo's entire bloodline and murdered all his successors who wielded the quirk, but on every single occasion, he was unable to obtain it, as the quirk rejected being a part of him. It's as if Yoichi's will made itself present through One for All's rejection of Zen's attempt to reunite with his brother. At present, as a younger All for One faces Bakugo in the final battle, he sees Kudo in Bakugo's appearance. The deadliest supervillain has started believing that Kudo's spirit is haunting him even after death. Despite knowing that if he pushes himself for longer, he can age at an impossible rate, All for One decides to go all out against Bakugo, propelling himself towards Bakugo by turning into a monstrous form. Meanwhile, All Might had mentioned to Bakugo about this fatal flaw of the rewind drug used by All for One, and Bakugo had accordingly prepared himself to launch his final strike. He unleashes howitzer impact and bursts of explosions that completely overwhelm a monstrous All for One. Maddened by his conceited worldview, All for One believed it was his story to set things up like he wanted, to get what he wanted. However, Bakugo shatters his misplaced belief by showing how it was a story of everyone who fought against his tyrannical oppression and everyone who helped Bakugo to grow as a person and serve justice by sacrificing the things they held dear. Overexerting himself and taking the severe impact of Bakugo's attack, All for One has turned into an infant and is still trying to find a way to go to Shigaraki to take control over his mind and body. An infant All for One attacks Bakugo, who defends himself successfully, and, spending his last agonizing moments with hate in his mind, an infant All for One is wiped out of existence after the last remnants of his powers are used up. Hawks' vestige gets a moment to taunt All for One before his death. Ironically, it took a single quirk to defeat the overlord of all quirks. Imitating his idol All Might, a battered-up Bakugo tries to strike a pose with his hand and head held high, but falls to the ground in exhaustion. He has taken down primal evil, and it is now up to Deku to take care of Shigaraki and put an end to all of this. And that's the end of this episode.